All right, welcome, free radicals. I'm Dave, and this is the Radical Independent, the channel that is slowly fading away. I don't know. Hey, if you like the channel, subscribe to the channel. I know I don't do a lot of videos over here. My music channel continues to take up a lot of my time and energy. And quite honestly, I've been posting a lot of political-ish commentary over there. So maybe subscribe over there. Maybe subscribe over here. I'm not going to be all that different from what you hear over there, except I am not typically talking about music over here. I am going to talk about Tulsi Gabbard versus Donald Trump, because Tulsi Gabbard lately has been on Fox News a lot, and she is really solidifying her credentials as somebody who could be a libertarian, who could be a conservative with a civil libertarian Thomas Massey type of view on, politics in the world. And I haven't heard her speak all that much about COVID. And to me, that's really important. I want to know where she's at right now, because when she was in Congress, she was basically playing to her audience in Hawaii, which I understand. But it's like when they say, well, Trump would have pardoned Julian Assange, but he was advised not to do it. And I'm like, you know what? That's not good enough for me. Just like, well, Trump was misled when it came to the inoculations. He was misled. But he's still preaching about Pfizer and Moderna and AstraZeneca and J&J. Look, I voted for Trump. I don't like him. Here's why I don't like him. I don't know if I can trust him, because he told everybody he was going to DC and he was going to drain the swamp, right? He didn't drain the swamp. He didn't drain it. And no matter how much you try to tell me, but if he is playing 4D chess, right? And I'm still open to him governing. I am. This is how bad things are. If he were in there, gas prices would be $1.92 a gallon. Inflation would be under control. So I get it. But when it comes to tyranny, I want to hear him say, I was misled on this entire global hallucination. I was misled by it. Not placate to the media narrative, which is, if you don't go along with us, then you're a kook. You're a conspiracy theorist. Now, Tulsi Gabbard is clearly, and this drives Cenk Uygur, whatever his name is, it drives the Young Turks absolutely insane, because they thought at one point maybe Tulsi Gabbard was kind of on their team. Tulsi Gabbard was never on their team. All right. Neoliberalism, that's the last thing. All they did with Tulsi, even when they agreed with her on other stuff, they're like, well, what about Syria? How come you're not talking about Syria? You don't understand that Assad is a bad dude. We need to go over there and start bombing everybody. Yeah, that's the modern Democratic Party. They just are into, the military-industrial complex. They want to continue to fund it and keep growing the budgets. And hey, while we're at it, we might as well fund a couple of things like, clean water for cities that don't have it. Flint, Michigan, maybe. I think Tulsi Gabbard should do a speech at Flint, Michigan. Talk about how the government continues to fail in its most basic of functions, right? And that would be local government. I think the national government with the hospital system, which is basically under the same umbrella, people, get this through your head. Any hospital system that is tied to Medicare is going to get their marching orders from the federal government. They are not independent bodies, and they follow a flow chart. And I know this firsthand. I know this. Okay. And They continue to tell people, hey, if you don't do the thing, guess what? Your job is done. January 4th, people are January 4th now, because of the Fifth Circuit Court is now really the cutoff. We'll see what happens when this goes to the Supreme Court, because it's going there. And, you know, if you're a liberal justice on the Supreme Court and you think that the government should mandate you to get some kind of a medicine, then guess what? You should not be sitting on the Supreme Court. And you could be left of center. I'm just thinking, remember when we had civil libertarians across the board? You had conservative civil libertarians, and you had more to the left, like an Alan Dershowitz, right? You had people who looked at issues and said, wait, whoa, my politics, all right, have nothing to do with the fact that people should live lives free of government coercion. That's where we're at as far as where things have gone. So a Tulsi Gabbard who steps forward, I need to know. I need more information. I mean, I'm willing to devote this channel. I know people are going to freak out, but they're probably not, because nobody's really over here. But if I decide to go back to Tulsi Gabbard, say I do a channel, right? Tulsi Gabbard 2024. And that's basically saying, look, I'm going to vote for Tulsi Gabbard. If she runs for president, I'm going to promote her candidacy, despite what Steve Bannon or any of the Trumpers who are very convincing to me. They're people who love the country and who want freedom. And by the way, some of these people, for those of you on the left, I don't know if you heard Steve Bannon talking to Tim Pool about taxing rich people, right? And I agree with this. You may say, well, Dave, that sounds like a leftist idea. Doesn't sound very libertarian. Here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at if you can hire tax attorneys, and if you can hire a whole, army basically of people who can defend you against the IRS, then you have an unfair advantage against someone like me. As opposed to I have to file my taxes, I have to wait, I have to do all of the things that individuals do when they file their taxes. So I don't have that kind of privilege. This is corporate privilege, and I don't believe in that. I believe we should all be on a level playing field. The corporations need to pay taxes, all right? Because we have no funding source. I know libertarians, and I consider myself a libertarian. I know libertarians go, well, taxation is theft. Not if you're already gaming the system, it's not theft. It's kind of like compensation if you're already gaming the system, and the government has basically set up a monopoly that's legal or pseudo-legal, like they're going to look the other way because, hey, you're going to do their bidding. Imagine if you start to tax the crap out of them and they go, hey, wait a minute, I thought these guys were on our team, or I thought we were actually the same team, right? So for those of you who are looking through a lens, and if something doesn't necessarily fit with a specific political ideology and you freak out about it, you better get used to the new normal. The new normal is libertarianism, populism, progressivism minus government intervention. And I know that sounds weird, but think it through. Do you really want the folks from Medicare coming in and administering a new program where then, hey, you can qualify for free health care? Here, just take this little injection and then you can be part of this. Really? Is that what you guys want? Because then you're really not libertarian at all. I hear this, I'm a left libertarian. Well, no, you're not. Not if you're for coercion, you're not. So it'll be interesting as, time goes on to see where Tulsi Gabbard lands when it comes to this very important issue. Again, she's been on Fox News, and she's starting to sound a little bit more like Marjorie Taylor Greene than Tulsi Gabbard. And again, the people over at TYT are probably blowing a gasket. And, you know, they can call her the worst person that ever lived. She's moving to the right. She's a deceiver. She's not who she says she is. She's looking at the country and she wants a bit of peace and normalcy. Am I willing to do a straight up channel for Tulsi Gabbard? Absolutely. I did it before. I can do it again because people really love her and they care about her. And I would rather promote somebody who could unite the country than just spout off about the things that I care about, which apparently aren't necessarily the things that other people care about. And I have the other channel, which I'm using right now as a battering ram against all of these loser musicians who think that they know better than you and I about a number of topics, and they don't. I would urge you to go over there and subscribe, but I would also tell you, please subscribe here as well, because again, changes are coming. That's all I'm going to tell you. Changes are coming. So hang in there, and God bless, and we will see you soon.